You know that song and you know that voice. That is Lea Salonga. She's a Tony Award-winning actress, and she's joining us in studio this morning to talk about a production at the Old Globe. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Does it bring you back when you hear yourself?
It does, and it never gets old.
No?
It never gets old. I sing it in concert. I did a gala here at the Old Globe Theater before we started rehearsals for Allegiance. And I brought somebody up on stage to sing the song with me, Adam Daveline, who's actually in a production of, he's actually working at the Festival Theater. He was one of the MFA students, I think, over at the Old Globe,
Cool.
if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
And yeah, so he performs almost nightly in one of the other theaters at the Old Globe. There's three. So we're in the Old Globe stage, there's the White stage, and there's the Festival stage. So it's, but everybody shares a common hallway, which is really cool.
Now you have little kids. Do they think
I have one little kid.
Do you think they think? Does your child think you're the coolest mom in the world for
No,
being? No,
not for. I'm the coolest mom just because
okay.
She loves me and she's my daughter. But I don't think the whole singing thing is necessarily a cool thing because it's pretty commonplace at my house that I sing, and it's not that big of a, you'd think it'd be a cool deal, but no, for her it's you know, it's cooler for her when she meets another actress who plays another princess. There was the Disney Legends ceremony not that long ago, and I brought her and I brought my nephew, who's the same age. She wanted to meet Anika Noni Rose, who played Tiana in The Princess and the Frog. She was, Mommy, we have to get her autograph. And so I turned my mommy button on, and it's like, honey, come, we are going to Princess Tiana. We are getting her autograph. And so I was very polite and said, Anika, my daughter, you are her favorite princess. She wants your autograph.
Well, we are really, really excited that you're here in San Diego.
Thank you.
Tell us about this production called Allegiance. I understand it's already getting standing ovations every single night.
Yes, every single night it has been getting standing ovations from the audiences that have been coming. To everybody that has come, and here's B-roll. Thank you very much. It's just been such a wonderful thing to be a part of. George Takei actually was the man who started everything, because it was a chance encounter between him and his husband and another couple of friends who just happened to be watching the same two Broadway shows on the same days. And there was one show that George was watching called In the Heights. He was watching the Broadway production, and when there was one song called Inutil, or Useless, which one of the father figures sings in the show, and George was just a complete blubbering mess. And so Jay Kuo, who wrote the music and lyrics of Allegiance, and Lorenzo Tione, who co-wrote the book, and Mark Aceto's one of the other book writers, Lorenzo and Jay happened to be at the theater and went to George and said, "Why are you crying?" And George was then starting to explain and tell his story about his having been an internee at Rower Camp in Arkansas, and later on in Tule Lake, and talking about his father in the context of the Japanese-American internment in World War II, and that became then inspiration for Allegiance. So it's not autobiographical, it's about a fictional Japanese-American family, but it is an experience that a lot of Japanese-American families felt during the internment years between 1941 to 1944-45.
So you really get into the history. It's more than just a production. I mean, you're giving us a history lesson.
It's not a History Channel presentation, certainly, but you know, you get the story of one family, of one fictional family, set against a very, very dark and terrible time in American history. And what we've been finding out, which is kind of alarming, is that it isn't really talked about very much in history classes. There was somebody who wrote on one of our Facebook pages to say, we only started learning about this in college, and even then when we learned about it, it was hardly more than a footnote, more than a paragraph or a couple of sentences in a book. And George is then so driven to get this musical, I mean, just out. And so he's been very, very determined in promoting it and in getting the word out. And we're hoping that it does make the jump to Broadway. We're all keeping our fingers crossed that it does make that jump too.
Okay, but until then, we've
Until
got you
then,
here in
San
San
Diego's
Diego.
got us.
Yeah, how long are you going to be here for?
We're here until October 21st.
Okay.
And so you can still get your tickets. You can go to allegiancemusical.com or theoldglobe.org, and you can find your tickets there. There's seating maps, and you can pick your seats, and seats are going really quickly,
Sure.
and we've been selling out, and I think everybody at the Old Globe's been very happy. We've been very happy, and it just feels like such a privilege and such an honor to be part of such an important piece of work. I mean, there are musicals and there are musicals.
Right.
And this is the latter, and it's really great to be part of, one, it's original work with original music and an original book, and two, where it really tackles a part of history that isn't really talked about very much, and something that seems to be repeating itself if we look at the political landscape, if we're looking at what's going on around in the country. It's like, you know what, we need to get this musical out, if only for people to not repeat what happened back then in World War II. It has to really be shown.
You are so passionate about it. We cannot wait to see it. It's at the Old Globe through the 21st of October. It is an honor to have you in town
you.
and to meet you. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank
so
you.
thank you so much for your music and for your time this morning.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Thank you. Appreciate it.